I don't know how to make sausage. I don't know what goes into sausage. But I do know how to build a football team.
Hey, he knows how to build a football team, though. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We are here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. My name is Eric Smith, co-host of the Colts Cast. Alongside me, as always, I have co-host Jamal Lawrence here.
Yo, hey, you want to know something? I know how to make sausage, though. And
Really?
I know how to build a football team. So
Oh,
I'm the jack of all trades, man. Hire me. What's up?
You build different, yeah.
Hey.
You could be the owner.
Exactly.
Hey, please be sure to follow us on social media. Our Twitter handle is @thecoltscast, and our Instagram is @coltscast. We got a YouTube up too. Go ahead and YouTube search the Colts Cast, and we'll pop up. We'll pop up somewhere. You know, we got some shorts up there. We got our pods up there. It's all fine and dandy. I know y'all heard that quote.
Man said, I don't know how to make sausage.
Look, we are going to get right into it because that press conference was a load of asterisk. Oh, wait. No, I should say horse asterisk. But it was very telling, and I don't think they're telling us everything. I just kind of want to start with that, Jamal. Just talk about the press conference, what you thought about it, because Jim Irsay said some wild stuff. Even Chris Ballard said some things.
Yeah. I want to start off by first talking about what Irsay said about Ballard when he was asked if he's going to be back. He said, oh, yeah, for sure, he's going to be back. He's going to be back. I'm going to tell you straight up, anybody who watched that press conference saw Ballard's body language. My man was looking stiff. He was looking, I think it's pretty unsafe. It's safe to say it's pretty uneasy because Reich also said that, Irsay also said that Reich was fine all year. He didn't have anything to worry about. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's out of the picture. So I think that Ballard knows he's on the hot seat. There at this point now, as I mentioned, I thought it was really weird that he hadn't come out and said anything. And the press conference kind of explained why, because he didn't know how to keep his mouth closed. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So I thought it was just really weird and interesting that Irsay, backed him and said, oh, he'll be back next year. But Ballard's body language said otherwise.
Yeah, we can't trust anything Irsay says, right?
No.
Frank Wright's safe. Boom. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan's our quarterback for the next 4 years, potentially. Boom. Benched after 8 weeks.
Yep.
And then Chris Ballard, and I quote, y'all been kicking the shit out of me for not drafting wideouts, and now we're underperforming on the offensive line. Yeah, when Bernard Raymond is your first offensive lineman that's drafted in the first 2 rounds since Quentin Nelson, which was in 2018, we can blame you there too. Like, the blame extends to Chris Ballard, and he should definitely be on the hot seat. We're already clearing house. Might as well get him out of there too. But look, you're allowed to draft offensive linemen too. I mean, he really thought Jackson Barton out of Utah, a 7th-round pick, was the answer in 2019. Do y'all even know who that is? Exactly. And don't even get me started on the lack of QBs drafted, because Jacob Eason, the guy who got benched by Jake Fromm when he was at Georgia, y'all thought that was the answer. Here we are, man. We're officially in tank mode. They don't want to say it. They don't want to say they're waving the white flag because we are a winning organization, because
Expectations are high here.
Very high.
We're the 4th winningest franchise in the league since 2000. All right, that means in the upper quartile of winners, we're in the top quartile
highest.
of that upper quartile.
That's
rare air, and we've earned
that the upper quartile of that the top quartile. I don't know how many quartiles he thinks are in a quartile, but anyway, we are a winning organization. They're not going to say, look, I mean, they can't come out and publicly say, we're tanking. They can't do that. They have to say we're trying to win. But everything they've done up until now in the past few weeks are saying we are in tank mode. That's what I see, Jamal. What do you see?
Dang, man. I don't have the clips or nothing, so I'm going to have to let you take the cake on this one. You're 100% right. 100%. A lot of contradictions going on throughout that entire thing. We talked about how Chris Ballard's a winner. His record's 43-45-1, so that's less than 500. That's not a winner. We talk about us being in the 4th winningest team since the year 2000. Eric, what year is it? Is it 2022? November?
I think it is.
November, so I'm pretty sure it's about to stroll over to 2023. Oh, so why are we talking about something that has been happening over the past 22 years? No one cares what our record is over the past 22 years. I care about what our record's been over the past 5 years during this Frank Reich era, this Chris Ballard era. That's what I care about, the 43 and 45 and 1. That's what's important to me. So I don't care that we've been the fourth winningest in the 17 quartiles he's talking about, although I didn't realize there's that many in there. I care about what's happened over the past 5 years. So yeah, a lot of contradictions throughout this entire thing. You know, we want a coach with no experience, although it's good to have experience. So I'm just confused at what's going on here.
He looked drunk, right?
Yeah.
A few shots of Henny.
Hey, what's up?
Way too many. He did say on Jeff Saturday, yes, he is fully experienced enough. Yes, he is fully capable. I mean, that's just not right? I mean, that's
Correct.
Completely wrong. He's not experienced at all. Yeah, he's experienced as a player. He's a great player for the Colts. As a coach, though, just like you said on last episode, Jamal, just because you're a great player doesn't make you a great coach. I think Brooklyn Nets fans probably found that out the hard way. So,
absolutely.
I mean, and he's not the only one. You could go back to Jason Kidd, but we're not talking about the NBA. We're talking about the NFL. I just think there's a lot of things that go into being a head coach. It's got to be one of the hardest positions. You got to do game planning, breaking down film, orchestrating practice, schemes. I mean, that's just not always just the defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. They have a hand in that because they pick their coordinators as well. Ability to lead, player personnel decisions. There's a lot that goes into it. I don't think I've even scratched the surface with the amount of things that go into being a head coach. I don't think I know, you know, but I know it's a lot. And the fact that someone can just walk in with no experience, to me, is a slap to the face to the people who've been coaching for a long, long time. You have to think about the coaching staff just on the Indianapolis Colts. That was like, wow, Jeff Saturday. Wow, I've been doing this thing for 15 years. I've been the linebackers coach for this many years. I mean, let alone the rest of the NFL, because there's only 32 head coaching positions. You have to feel robbed of an opportunity, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you legit have to feel robbed. And it will make me not trust anything. It's bad enough that you've had to kind of watch the demise. And maybe there have been a couple coaches who've been there for over the years, kind of seeing things that are going on. But how would I be able to trust anything if I just watched an OC get fired for potentially no reason, head coach get fired, bring in someone who has zero credentials in the NFL or college or the collegiate level, and they just get a job, and you're sitting there just waiting to hear something. I mean, I just wouldn't trust that. I honestly, if I were them, I would be exploring my options because it's a loose cannon.
It's a dumpster fire now for the Colts organization. It's looking really bad. Parks Frazier, team's offensive play caller moving forward for the remainder of the 2022 season. He's the pass game specialist, assistant QB's coach. He, like Jeff Saturday, has no experience calling plays in the NFL. What's your thoughts on that?
What do you expect, man? I like you said, this is all just a big dumpster fire. I think this is experiment one-on-one. We're just trying to put something. I honestly feel like they're trying to find ways to make the situation as bad as they can. So in the event that it does continue down this downward trajectory, it's like, well, look at all these things we had in place. We had a second-year quarterback who had to come in, who was a third string. We have a brand new interim head coach who's never coached. We now have a play caller who doesn't have much of any experience. I think it's just like the perfect storm to keep the excuses coming. But I don't know. Like, seriously, I understand the whole tanking thing or whatever, and like if you don't want to make it look like you're tanking, there's no better way to make it look like you're tanking than to do what the organization is doing. Had he just played the season now like normal and just been like, damn, this is just a shit show. We can't figure it out. We can't win. O-line isn't blocking, yada, yada, yada. Everyone would have been like, you know what? Charge us to the game. This really sucks. I don't know what the team is doing, but they better figure it out during offseason. But when you start playing around with all these pieces to the puzzle, I mean, it looks fishy. It looks it looks like it's just shady. It's all crazy.
Yeah, and I guess the one positive that comes out of this is that Parks Frazier and Jeff Saturday, they get to build some experience in the NFL, right? They get some opportunities that they probably wouldn't be afforded the chance to. I mean, definitely Jeff Saturday. I think Jeff Saturday even said he was shocked that he even got called for this position, right?
Yeah, and how crazy is that? Especially when Irsay literally said, "Well, I'm glad Jeff accepted because we didn't have any other plan." Like, what? Did I am I missing something?
Like a complete disaster.
Yeah,
that's just unfolded. Oh man! And I even tweeted this the other day. I said we probably should have kept Carson Wentz, right? But guess who pulled the trigger on that? Jim Irsay. He wanted him out. I don't know. Something about QB stability is seems to be a major factor to winning in the NFL. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I'd like to venture and say that you are quite possibly correct on that one. So, and it's not looking too hot for the unstable house. They're gonna mess around and try to pick up like A-Rod or Jimmy G at the end of the year. Well, we're gonna pick up somebody else. We'll figure it out. We've really been eyeing this cornerback in the first round. Who we want to get? I can't.
You hate cornerbacks.
Ballard likes defensive players. So I always like to mess with defensive players. So you know how he rolls, man.
Man, I don't know, there's some good cornerbacks.
Yeah, they
Cam
are.
Smith out of South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Kelly Ringo out of Georgia. Mm-hmm. Those are the potential top 10, top 15 picks.
I know a few potential quarterbacks who will be even better than that, though. Hooker.
Who do you like? Ooh, Hooker.
Yeah, Hooker's my guy. He got exposed last weekend. It was raining. Defense was playing really well. He didn't do great, but I ain't gonna let one game be his demise. And I'm glad we kind of mentioned that because I've seen a lot of stuff talking about Sam, and people are like, "Oh, Sam this, Sam that." People, remember, this dude has had 0 playing time besides the preseason. It's only his second week in the league, playing against a team that allowed him to get sacked not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but 9 times in one game. I would love to see the people who are out here talking that good noise get out on the field with that O-line and evade the pressure. Because I can guarantee you'd have been sacked 400 times, and probably after the first one, you probably would have been on the ground crying, ready to get off the field. So, pump the brakes. Relax. Everyone saw Matt Ryan practice today. People were like, "Oh, put Sam back on the bench. Let Matt back in the game." Calm down. Maybe if we can get some people to block from him for a little bit, he can do something.
Yeah, it's really hard to evaluate Sam Ehlinger right now when he's taking 9 sacks. So I will primarily blame the O-line for that, but I told you last week, Sam Ehlinger, that there were some plays I thought he missed during the game that, potentially costed a sack. So there's always that. So the Raiders, I don't know if it gets much easier, but we'll see. But I saw a mock draft. Had us picking at number 5?
Dang, that's crazy, Eric.
Isn't that crazy?
I just want to take a second. Before we talk about this. I told everyone. I said early on, after we were 1-3-1, or maybe we went 2. No, okay, because we weren't 2-2.
Were we 1-3-1? I
think we were 1-3-1, and I said at this point, hey man, abort mission. Go ahead and let's go ahead and get rolling on these early draft picks. Nah, it's too early. Don't do it. Nah, it ain't ever too early. Now we got projected number 5, Eric. Hey, that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead.
That's one mock draft, though. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't. Because Jeff Saturday said he wants to win. He did say, he made it clear he wants to win.
And the players are going to play.
Yeah, for sure.
All of them. They're playing for contract, and we have talented players out there. It's not like they're going to tank their contract out there.
That's true.
They're going to be out there playing. Now, the schemes and plays that are being run, they might put them in an unfavorable position, but like Stephon Gilmore, he's going to be balling out there.
That's true. Well, and I, honestly, man, looking at the rest of our schedule, I really think that this game against the Raiders is the biggest bang for our buck because the Raiders have, for 3 weeks straight, given up 17-point leads, They've blown the lead. So, I mean, we love playing from behind. So, this could be our game to go ahead and get that lead on a late fourth quarter drive. Maybe get a dub out of that. But
yeah, right. You wouldn't believe this if I told you, but the Raiders, they have less wins than us.
It's wild to think about.
Yeah, so 2 teams, they're underachieving. We'll see what happens at Allegiant Stadium. But
we will. You know what, man? I'm hoping that'll happen. Hopefully Gus will just ball out this game for his old team. And I'm really needing to see some Yannick Ngakoue because this man averaged 8 sacks a season before coming here. I mean, let me see how many sacks he has right now because I want to make sure I'm accurate.
He hasn't been the impact player that we thought he would be.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly. I mean, because I said when we first got him, I said, oh, man, if he can get us 8 sacks, we're going to be in money. Everything's going to be great. But, I mean, it hasn't been hot. 4.5 sacks this year. 4.5. And only 1, 2. Looks like 2 of them have been full sacks. 3 of them have been full sacks. Others have been half sacks that combined to make the 4.5 total. So,
And we gave up Rocky Sin.
Yeah.
Who's playing pretty well for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. What I'm looking at right now, like I said, I told you I've been looking at some mock drafts. That's really, after what's unfolded the past couple of weeks, it's just, what can we do to improve in the future? And Will Levis at pick 5 right now could be the Colts quarterback of the future. I see a lot of people on social media that don't like him. I don't know why. I mean, he seems like this, he's got a rocket arm. He's got some athletic ability. He seems like, I don't want to say the Josh Allen type, but he reminds me of him a little bit. I don't know. But some people, they feel a little turned off about him. He's not like an automatic, like, yeah, I really like CJ Stroud. There's no hesitation there. But Will Levis, there definitely is.
Well, I think the only thing, too, when it comes to, like, I don't know, we're not really discussing CJ Stroud because he won't be in there at the time.
If we lose enough.
Oh, I guess technically, yeah, you're right. But, like, I like to remember that these quarterbacks, like CJ, have so many. If we had Marvin Harrison Jr. as our wide receiver, then, yeah, we'd probably be looking pretty good, too. So, like, I try to remember that. A lot of these guys are surrounded by 5-star athletes who are probably going to go to the league, too. So Will Levis, I like that Kentucky. I mean, they have a great class, but it's not an Ohio State class. It's not a Tennessee receiving core class that they have going on. So I think that it's kind of biased to not give Will Levis the credit he deserves because he's working with less than what these other teams have, and I like that. I mean, I think that it's hard to say too much negative. I know he got exposed by Georgia, but so did Hooker. Every team who plays Georgia, for the most part, gets exposed by them. So you got to kind of figure out how to bounce back from that. And I like what he's done. I'm not saying that I'm all chips in for him, but with what he has around him, I haven't been mad about what I've seen. So but we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a discussion for the future. We got to see what pick we're going to get.
Yeah.
We got to see what these quarterbacks look like at the end of the season. But what's the score prediction for the Colts Raiders game?
Well, I don't see a score more than 6 points, and by 6 I mean 2 field goals, not a touchdown and a missed PAT. I'm talking 2 field goals. So I'm gonna guess here.
So it's Chase McLaughlin time.
Yes, exactly. He's gonna go 2. He's gonna go 2 for 3. He's gonna miss one.
Oh my goodness.
I'm thinking it's gonna be 17-3.
Woo, that's an ugly game.
It's very ugly. We got the lowest scoring offense versus a decently hot Devontae Adams, but the rest of the team ain't nothing. So,
well, I would say they have a lot of talent on their roster.
Yeah.
Like Derek Carr has some great qualities. Josh Jacobs has seen a resurgence this season. They finally figured out just, give him the ball.
Yeah.
We're really good at run blocking. Let him get work in. They acquired Devontae Adams, top 3 wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any argument there. Darren Waller, I think, recently just went on the IR, but he was another weapon.
Yeah.
Then on the defensive side, I mean, they got our boy Rocky Sin, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones. I'm worried about that pass rush. We're always worried about that pass rush when we got the Colts offensive line.
And if anybody watched the Patriots game, like any NFL, they could see that all you have to do is stunt a linebacker and it's over. Because our dudes was out there dazed and confused. So if you want to get to the quarterback, stunt the linebackers, and you're going to get there every play.
You saw Matthew Judon. I said we got to watch out for him. And he had, 3.5 sacks?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep. Hey,
For one player to have 3 sacks, I mean, that's just inexcusable.
And
Go
I mean,
ahead.
and I was gonna say just on something on him, they were all sacks where he just literally just ran straight through, and it was a freebie. Like no one even looked at him. That was the worst part. I think he was kind of surprised he was able to get him that easily, especially after it happened the first time, after it happened the second time, after it happened the third. I mean, it's like, what point do you plan on touching him?
Yeah.
Any point?
What if we end up winning this game, though? Wouldn't that be funny?
That would be funny. The reason why I could kind of see that happening though is because like it could be a breath of fresh air with a new coach in there, resurgence. You know, I can kind of see that. Jonathan Taylor practiced today, so that's
good to hear.
Yeah. I don't think he'll play, but he's back in there because I know they didn't want to put him on
bad
IR.
to hear.
Yeah, well they didn't when they said they didn't want to put him on IR. That kind of told me that they probably don't have plans to play him, but they just don't want to have to put him on that full 4-game, set away. So I think that they probably won't. Like, for example, I mean, even Shaq Leonard was in last week, and I kind of forgot because he wasn't making any noise, nothing against him, but I kind of forgot that he was even in the game because it was Bobby Okereke and Zaire, doing so much stuff. So kind of got overshadowed. So I wouldn't be surprised for them to let JT get his rest, or if he is in there, kind of not have a crazy workload.
Yeah, Zaire. Yeah, I've been telling y'all.
Yeah, he different.
Yeah, he's been an elite linebacker this year, and I mean, he's like number 3 in tackles, number 2, somewhere around there. He's top 5 though.
Yeah,
that means something. But yeah, this franchise is dysfunctional right now.
It is. And let me ask you this, Eric, just to cap it all off for us. How would you feel? What are your thoughts on this? Is completely random too. That this is not so much about Jeff Saturday being the head coach as it is Jeff Saturday winning the players over to be the new GM and getting Ballard out at the end of the season.
Whoa. Huh.
I think it's a perfect thing to do. You got a chance to get Jeff in there. He's been an ESPN analyst. He knows a lot of players. He's he's been watching. The college.
Does he have the ability to evaluate talent though?
He said it seems to think that he can. Yeah. I mean, I think he probably have a better idea evaluating talent than he does coaching. I don't know.
I really don't know, and I just know Jeff Saturday does not have experience. I don't feel good about the situation moving forward.
No.
I don't think the Colts are going to win many games. We might squeak 1 or 2 out, but we'll see what happens against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be very telling to see, because it'll be Parks Frazier's first game calling plays. It'll be Jeff Saturday's first game head coaching. Like, what's going to be different? Who's going to be utilized? Like, there's a lot of question marks, and I don't like that uncertainty, halfway through the season. But to answer your question, I'm not sure, because I don't know. Like, Jeff Saturday's qualifications, it just, to me right now, doesn't fit that role of a GM. Yep. But I don't know. He could be good at it. We always thought Chris Ballard was a great GM. Mm-hmm. He had an eye for talent, and he's found some talented players. So,
yeah,
it's just his fault of, not drafting O-linemen, bandaging quarterbacks, things like that. I think that's been a downfall.
It's about the green.
And he's been kicking the can down the road so long. It's inevitable that it catches up to us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we are. So, why you want Jeff Saturday to be the next GM?
I didn't say that. I think that as a player GM, John Elway has done a pretty solid job in Denver for what it's worth. So I think that he can learn, but I just don't know. I just can't grasp the point of Jeff Saturday being in Indianapolis.
Have they done a good job in Denver?
Well, I mean, they
They
managed
just
to
got a
scoop up.
busted up quarterback.
Well, I should say, fine. You know what? I'm going to sound like every other Colts fan. When they were able to
hold on.
scoop
They-
Peyton up.
Yeah, okay. And they won a Super Bowl. You're right.
And they went to 2. They lost 1. And I mean, I think that after that with Brock Osweiler and those guys, okay, that was a bit
Drew
of a
Lock.
failure. Drew Lock. I forgot about Drew Lock.
Although
yeah.
Drew Lock, I don't know, he's fun to watch. He seems like a fun player to be around.
Yeah.
But it looks like Geno Smith over there is comeback
he
player of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Maybe I should retract that statement. Maybe I should look that up a little more before I go in depth.
Well,
on
everyone
that.
thought Russell Wilson was going to be a perfect fit. They were saying the Broncos were contending now, like they finally have their missing piece. But that boy, dangerous.
Yeah. It's dangerous how much that missing piece still ain't there.
Yeah, I don't know
doing
what
high knees
happened.
on the PJ, still want to ride with the team.
Seahawks had it right. They was like, let's get this man out of here. We know what's coming. So
Everybody
yeah,
thought it was Pete Carroll. Jesus. Anyway,
I know it's crazy, but I got my score prediction at. Man, I think Sam Elliott gets his first passing touchdown.
Ooh, okay.
We'll do 10-31. No, we won't, because our defense is better than that.
Yeah.
We'll do 10-17.
All right, 10-17 and 17-3. All right, bet. I like that.
Yeah, I think he might be able to squeeze his first passing touchdown. I don't think the Raiders are. They've been finding ways to lose games. I don't know how.
You're right.
So,
and I'm sorry, I should have said 17-6, but yeah, keep going. I said 17-3.
yeah, okay. So I think they're only favored by about 4.5 points. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I as much as I want to say go Colts, you know, I wouldn't hate if they lost at this point just
Right?
because the draft pick goes higher. But then again, it would be nice to see the Colts win, you know, convincingly. I don't know. I really don't know. There's a lot of things running in my head about this organization. So
Y'all was sleeping on me when I said we should have been tanking earlier on. It would be nice to see
I didn't
them
know
lose.
we were gonna fire everybody, so I just couldn't see into the future. I didn't have my crystal ball at hand, but yeah, we'll see, man.
Oh yeah,
Go Colts,
go Colts.
whatever that means. Go Colts, everyone. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for us. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. And we'll be back after the game on Sunday to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. You guys have a good weekend. Stay safe out there.
That's right. Have a good weekend.